This one simple opening has brought me more than 500 elo points. It starts with the move d6. I call it a universal defense because you can play this opening against absolutely everything. And then you play for the center. You try to play e5 as early as possible, either immediately, in this case it's possible, or after knight f6, knight to d7, and e5. Of course, your opponent can play different lines, but don't worry about that. I have an entire playlist where I show you how you beat all of those other lines and you are prepared for everything. And on top of that, I have an entire opening course, 10-day opening mastery that allows you to build a lifetime opening repertoire both for white and black, just 10 days. There is an amazing offer right now. Feel free to check the link in the description. Okay, my opponent plays e3. Now, never ever be afraid of this endgame. It's actually, even objectively according to Stockfish, is not worse for black. It's so amazing. I have videos on that as well in the playlist. Take a look at it. But he plays e3, which is fine. I mean, let's just develop our stuff. We always go knight to f6. There is basically only 7 moves that you have to remember here. And you can execute it in pretty much every single game. This one, e5, this knight goes to d7, as long as we need to protect that e5 pawn. Never ever blunder your e5 pawn, this is the most important one. Then we are going to play bishop e7 and castle. And finally, this move c6. Very important move just to cover these very important squares, especially against this knight on c3. Once we play c6, it cannot do anything, absolutely anything. All right, bishop e7 doesn't really matter. I mean, you can play knight d7, you can play c6, you can play bishop e7. All moves are fine. That is the beauty of this opening. It's so universal. All right, knight f3. The only thing, please do not blunder this pawn. This is the most important one. So as long as they attack it, you just play knight d7 and defend it. Castles. You see, I mean, these concrete moves that my opponent made, I see it for the first time in my life, but I literally still make the same 7 moves. Here they are, the only ones that you need to remember. And afterwards, it's all about the ideas. A lot of openings, you try to memorize it and then you're clueless what to do in the middle game. Well, here it's different because I'm going to explain you all of the ideas. We want to either attack in the center or on the queen side, depending on what our opponent is doing. Now, because he's so passive, I don't actually see anything wrong with just playing the move e4 and then support this pawn with d5. All right, yes, let's go for it. We already control the center. Obviously, he can attack it. I mean, it's not like you're going to win in 10 moves. Everyone who suggests you that is just scamming you, basically. But this is a very solid opening that you can play every single time. You're going to have so much more experience than your opponent. You're going to save so much time because you understand where the pieces belong. After a few more videos in the playlist, you're going to understand different ways white can play and what you can do against it. And so you know what to do in the middle game. All right, now we have this beautiful pawn structure. How do we continue? Obviously, our opponent has this pawn structure over here. This is like a hint for you. You take a look at this pawn chain, and in which direction it goes, that's where you need to play further. In our case, we have a pawn chain here, which is a hint for you that we should play over here. To do that, we need to remove that knight, but we cannot do that because this pawn is hanging. So we need to solve a few logistics problems here. What we can also do, like typically we make the moves on the other side of the board only to stop our opponent's counterplay. So I feel like I want to move this pawn either to a5 or to a6, I'm not sure. Typically a6 is a very good square because we can even play b5, again, with an idea to just shut down all of the play here. Let's do that. If they take, we can still play b5. If they, for example, shut it down completely with c5, then there is no play over here on this side of the board, and only here we are going to play, and I hope we are going to be stronger there. Of course, he can play f3. He can start challenge us on that part of the board. Okay, he plays a4. A very good trick, I often use it. We play a6, the answer is a4, and then we play a5. Because we want to completely shut down the entire activity. In this particular case, though, maybe it's not so great, because they're gonna jump to b5. And this knight, yeah, in a combination with some pieces, might be annoying. So maybe we just leave it like that, and focus on our attack on the queen side. The question is, how do we do that? Maybe we play rook e8, knight f8, knight g6, and then our knight is here ready to help the attack, and this pawn is protected. That is a little bit slow, of course. But the plan is very solid and interesting. I don't really see another one. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to move this rook away because it's going to be a good supporter for the f-pawn. But how do I make f5 possible? A little bit of a puzzle for me. I mean, I can play queen c7 and bishop d6, but I'm gonna play h3. Yeah, let's go for it. Maybe another idea would be that instead of going on with the pawns, we can actually move our rook somewhere here or here and launch an attack like that. The good thing is we are going to attack the king while our opponent is attacking the pawns here. It's not that dangerous. All right, now let's go for knight f8. And I still don't really see how he's supposed to create threats here. Okay, he plays f4. But that is like a concession because this e3 pawn is going to be a huge weakness for a long time. I think I can just take here, then take there, and I'm perfectly... Actually, this is perfect for my rook on a8. He made it the right way for me. I'm gonna take everything. Or actually, maybe I shouldn't have taken that, because now he's gonna have this big pawn center. Yeah, maybe that was too much. Would have just continued the plan with knight g6. But okay, I'm gonna play knight g6, and I'm gonna try to attack this big center, because it's not without weaknesses. Maybe actually bishop e6 was even better. How do you even defend that c4 pawn? Now that he played rook b1, it's a little bit more difficult for me. But actually wanted to play that and challenge that bishop on f3. Because the position is very open, and in such a case, getting a bishop's advantage is a very good thing that can happen to you. All right, I have a choice. I can take it, or I can play knight f5. I think I rather want to take, but let's give it another thought. Because once I play knight f5, he cannot play e4. This pawn would be hanging. And the knight is attacking this guy. And I can even play bishop d6, but when I play bishop d6, he has that. Or no. Well, what I spotted is, even if he can take it, I'm gonna play bishop c5, and like this spin is very annoying. Although maybe not enough. All right, knight f5 or knight f3? What would you do here? Knight f3, like the drawback, it helps him to bring all of his pieces. He's suddenly very, very active. But I have a pair of bishops, and then I would need to... Actually, I have bishop h3, knight g4 ideas. Let's go for it. Takes. Maybe I just... No, b5 is not possible, because my rook is hanging. Well, I can play bishop g4 and then b5. Just sacrificing everything here on the queen side to open up, to create threats. Or maybe bishop h3 like I wanted. I wanted bishop h3 and then knight, rook f2, knight g4. Ah, wait, knight g4 is never a good idea. There is a pawn hanging. Then let's just go for bishop g4. Because the queen doesn't really have a lot of good squares to go. Queen f4, we have bishop d6. And we can actually just defend this pawn later. Okay, can I just play bishop d6? Maybe he wants queen g5, h6, queen h4. I don't know. Doesn't feel that great. Let's play bishop d6. Alright, he goes backwards. But now we can just play rook e7. Or maybe queen c7 is better. Because if he plays e4, I can just take it if I play queen c7. But if I play rook e7 and I take everything, in the end of the day, this f7 pawn would be hanging. So I like queen c7. So that now this queen is really good, controlling a lot of things, and this rook is free to work along the e-file. Now I remembered my idea. Actually, against queen f2, I wanted to play bishop h3. Okay, now it's even better because the rook has no moves to go. I think he just blundered it. But bishop h3 was coming anyway, and he needs to leave this f-file, and then I have this move knight g4, and then those pieces are really great here because I'm threatened to sacrifice here. Like knight g4 even here is an idea. Okay, he goes for that. I think I should just take it. If he plays e5, I can even just take this guy. Yeah, obviously that pawn center is huge, but as I wanted, I have created my counterplay, and that worked. Queen takes. Yeah, because he didn't want to take with the rook. The e4 pawn would be hanging. So now e5 is a threat. But I might even be able to play that at g4. Not even sure, maybe I play c5 first, because if he plays d5, this is great for me. Then I have this beautiful e5 square for my pieces. And if he plays e5 himself, then I have knight g4. Although he can take and attack my queen. That is annoying. Maybe I should start with knight g4, because he cannot play here the desirable move. That would be a royal fork. Yeah, let's start with this move. The queen has to go somewhere. I mean, queen f5 is not great. I'm going to take here, take there. That would be too much. And if he goes somewhere here, I'm going to play my move c5. Maybe I could have even played c5 anyway. Yeah, queen e2. Missed it. Yeah, I should have played c5 probably. That was a good chance, because then I could have taken and then attacked the c4 pawn with my queen, which is also a check, attacking those guys. Okay, but I can actually take it, right? It takes, I play bishop g3, I exchange my bishop, a knight, for rook and 2 pieces. And in the end, I'm going to have 2 rooks against 3 pieces, which is more or less the same, but I'm going to have 2 extra pawns. I mean, an alternative is to play, I don't know, f5, but that's gonna shut down my pieces here. I don't like it. And it's gonna completely open up my opponent's skin, which is really great. So then all I need to do is somehow open it up so that my rooks are active. Every position where you have your rooks fighting against pieces, it's all about the rook's activity. How active the rooks are going to be. Well, first of all, I can give a check. Activating my queen cannot be bad with a check. I might even just sacrifice an exchange here to open it up, because I have so many pawns, and this rook is coming, the e-file is great. Yeah, I have another check, queen to c1. Knight e1 is probably his idea. And thank God for him that this knight is protected by the queen. Alright, but this is very nice for me. Maybe now it's time for this b5 idea. Because if he takes everything, I mean, he's not gonna survive. So let's go for it. You have the rooks, try to open up everything. Open up the files so that your rooks can penetrate. Not about the pawns anymore. I can even play just before and, like, if not promote, then destroy him a lot. And also, once the knight moves, this guy is hanging. The alternative is to take, to open up the b file. Also really nice, but... Or maybe I can combine both ideas and take on a4. On the one side, I create this buzzer. On the other side, I open up the b file. And finally, if he takes, I can still take here on a4. I don't know, b4 is so active, it cannot be bad. Like, I'm just a few moves away from promoting. And he's still, like, his only chance is to attack my king. But look at those pieces. They're very, very far away from creating any threats. Yeah, now he's coming. Like, if he can do that, that might be something. So I have to be careful. It's never too late to spoil your game. Maybe I just take another pawn. My opponent offers me a draw. I never accept a draw. If I can still lose somehow. Okay, queen takes d4, knight f5, queen f6. What is the threat? Those knights are tricky, I mean, that's for sure, but I'm gonna be brave. I like this diagonal for my queen because I control this g7 square, which feels to be the most dangerous. And I even have like this check to save me a tempo. Not sure if it's important that I have the queen here. In this particular case, not at all, because knight h5 would be a move with the tempo, so with a1 check. And basically I can play for this queen to promote. The problem is, once I play b2, I block this diagonal, and so that might be a checkmate. Maybe I just play rook e6, bring a new piece into the defense. I also want to maybe... wait, one thing I completely blundered is bishop d4. But somehow, I mean, his king would be naked. That must mean something. Yes, his idea is that if I play rook g6, he has knight e7 fork. But I actually wanted to start with rook to e8, so that I'm ready for it. No, I'm still not ready. Because knight e7, and if I take queen c8, checkmate. That is annoying. Okay, what is his threat? d4. Maybe still bishop d4. Somehow his pieces are covering his king pretty well. Yeah, not so simple. It's never ever too late to spoil your game. Wait, but I can play h5. And if he takes... no, I still cannot. I thought I'm winning the queen, but there is still this knight e7. Maybe I just go away, but then bishop d4. Bishop d4 is actually very annoying. Maybe I play rook d8 just to stop it. Activating even more of my pieces. Queen d1 might be an idea at some point, once I somehow deal with the checkmate threat. And if bishop d4, I just want to take it. Yeah, that was another idea, but I hoped that now I should be able to do something. Maybe I just get away with my king finally. Like, no, king f8 is stupid because he has bishop c5. And that's bishop d4, takes, and rook g6. That is winning. And if he takes over here with something, I don't care, I play rook g6. That feels good. I hope I'm not blundering anything. I mean, if he takes with the queen here and we exchange absolutely everything, then I'm easily winning because I have two powerful pawns, too many pawns. All right. That is protecting against that. What about rook f6? Rook f6 is checkmate in one. That is not good. I play that and exchange like this. Good enough. Or maybe I just bring my queen back. Like queen f6 takes, I just take it with the pawn. It takes, I take with the pawn. Queen g6. Yeah, I think it's time to bring it back. I mean, I can also just put my rook back. I'm not sure what is the threat. Maybe this is the simplest. I'm always like the combination of the queen and the knight is very powerful, very dangerous, but the combination of the queen and two knights is even more dangerous. Now I have spotted an idea. If I have played queen to f6, maybe he has bishop h4. Obviously, I have some checks, but okay. Rook d4 is not possible because, whoa, I completely missed that. Now I might be checkmated. Well, I can take with the queen. And then it's not so bad, actually. Queen a2 check, queen h3, queen b3 check, queen h4, and like this is literally a checkmate. Yeah, probably I have to sacrifice my queen. I somehow felt I'm gonna blunder something here, and I did. But okay, now I have 2 rooks and 27 pawns for the queen and the knight. Again, I think it's all about the checkmate. If I can stabilize, I mean, push this pawn, that must be winning. Unfortunately, I'm not threatening rook e4 because, again, this back rank issue, I cannot get away from it. Now I might be able to play g6. I mean, it's, of course, dangerous, but at least I'm not going to be checkmated. So g6 probably is my best shot. h6? Yeah, maybe h6, actually. As long as I'm not checkmated somehow here. Okay, he threatens to take here, but maybe I can just grab a pawn. Why not? I attack there. I have checks. I have some checks over here. Yes, let me give a check. It's always a good strategy when you don't have any time to give a check. Give a few more. Because he cannot really escape, right? He has to be there. I have a draw, but obviously I want to win. No, that is not possible. That is another advantage of giving a few checks, because maybe your opponent is going to make a mistake. To say the least, you win some time and repeat the moves, but maybe he's going to make a mistake and then you're going to just win. All right, let's take a look at the review of this game. Very fascinating one. I'm curious. This is the #1 thing you can do for your chess growth. Always analyze your games. Every game that you play and don't not analyze afterwards is a spoiled opportunity. 79% accuracy, but I have made a brilliant move. Let's take a look at it. Far so good. Yes, so here basically it's much better for black. That is the kind of position you get out of the opening. If you want to get such an amazing position after opening in your own games, check out the playlist, check out the opening course. It will change your life forever. So let's see how I spoiled it, because knight of 8 is actually the correct, and that is correct. So I played very, very well, but I shouldn't have taken it. I felt it immediately once I took. Somehow I underestimated this counterplay my opponent has, and the right way to continue, yeah, just knight somewhere, knight g6 or knight e6. Knight g6 feels a little bit more reasonable to me, and he cannot play like this pawn is important. It doesn't matter that it's isolated. This one is much, much worse. So was a mistake to take, but hopefully you can learn from it as well. Here the position is equal. Now I'm again much, much better. Bishop d6, it's -2. Yeah, just bishop h3, queen c7. I understood myself that it's not like a bad move, but it just misses this very, very cool opportunity. But now I have it again. This time I used my opportunity. And that is all correct. So I actually played very well. Probably I started to make my mistakes further. No, before all is good. Like, why on earth do I have such a bad accuracy? Just 70. So knight takes h2 was a brilliant move. Okay, yeah, it wasn't that difficult. Okay, but I made a blunder later on. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, somehow I started to panic. I understood that objectively this is like completely crushing. I have, I don't know, crazy amount of extra material, but you know, this whole thing is so annoying, so many threats, bishop 4. I played rook e6, which is still correct, but rook d8 is a blunder. The right move was queen to e5. Yeah, just bring your queen back, because now bishop d4 is never... Ah, yes, actually I thought about it. I thought that I want to do that, but queen e2 is not possible. It's under control, but fortunately I have this square g6. I have this move rook to g6 now. That knight e7 is not possible. Yeah, that I missed. And if he takes, I simply just go for the endgame. I don't care about anything because this is always winning. Yeah, that is actually pretty simple. I connected another rook, but that gives him a chance to play bishop d4. Again, with the same idea. I somehow thought that it stops the move bishop d4, but it doesn't. And here I have to give up this exchange after that. All right, he played knight h5, which gives me another chance to play a reasonable move. I played king h8, which is great. But here again, rook e8 is a blunder. That is why my accuracy like completely spoils. You see that before that, I played the opening very well. I've got a fantastic position, completely winning, but here I spoiled it. So the right move was just queen to b. Actually, I thought about it, but yeah, I just didn't see a threat. That is why I played it. But going backwards is almost always bad, so don't do that. Bishop d4, and now at least I have... Wow, that's winning for white. Incredible. Ah, knight g6 check. We both missed it. Remember? Checks, captures, and threats. I mean, I didn't have a choice. My queen takes d4 was my only chance anyway. But my opponent spoiled this incredible opportunity. Just always and always, doesn't matter what's happening, start with checks. This is why it's so powerful. And of course, it's simple once you see it, but to be able to see it, you first need to think about checks in the first place. Rook c4 is not great. Just b3. Yes, it actually makes sense because the knight is hanging. But okay, in such a panic mode, this is a normal decision to grab a pawn, as long as I don't miss anything. And yeah, this position is a little bit better for me, but nothing special. After king to f2, I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to do, so I have... Yeah, rook d8 was on my agenda. The best move is rook c to e2. And if he takes... Yeah, it's actually nothing, I just go back. Don't like it. Rook d8 I like because now he cannot take. I'm gonna have a checkmate. But okay, the game goes on. That would be very fascinating, but I put pressure on my opponent and he collapsed. Don't miss a crazy discount on the 10-day opening mastery. The link is in the description. And in this playlist, you can learn how to crush your opponent if he plays one e4 with this exact opening.